So on the heels of what was arguably AMD's biggest triumph in years, the Ryzen architecture, they've fucked all kinds of shit up with Vega. If you're having difficulty following the situation and you don't quite understand what's going on, allow me to explain. Okay, role-playing time. Let's say my name is Andy, and I own a bakery in a small town in the middle of buttfuck nowhere. I am the only person in town that sells muffins, aside from this one other asshole that everyone sort of hates, but still buys muffins from because he makes great muffins. And I've got this new muffin in mind that I think is going to put me back on the map. So he sells his muffins for $3.29 a muffin, and I look to do about the same with my muffins, which are about roughly the same size and are going to taste just as good as his muffins, or so I think. So what I do is I go to the local Gazette and I put an advertisement in the paper that says, Andy's Muffins, come get them, $3.29 a piece. Way better than Nick's Muffins across the street. Fuck Nick. Saturday, 8 a.m. Oh, I'll be open. Lots of muffins will be available. Come get your muffins. So then a whole bunch of people, some of which are Andy's regular customers, others are kind of in between and don't really have a favorite over Nick and Andy and just want the best performing muffin possible. They come to Andy's shop Saturday morning and he opens his doors, and there in the shop, not a single muffin can be found. Because it turns out he got an offer from another guy who really fucking liked his muffins and was like, oh my god, I fucking love your muffins. Dude, I will pay you fucking $4 for every goddamn muffin you have in stock right now. And then Andy goes, oh fuck, these muffins like cost me so much to make. I'm not really making all that much money on them. I'm only putting them out because I have to stay competitive, for God's sakes, and keep my head in the game. But I've also got kids to put through fucking college. Nick's driving me out of business. I gotta do something. So yeah, fine, mysterious muffin mystery man. Take all my muffins for $4 a piece. And he says, great. As soon as you get more muffins made, I'll be back to buy the rest of them off of you. So fast forward to the morning once again, and here we are with all those angry customers in the store looking for $3.29 muffins, and there are no muffins to be had. And then all Andy can say is, oh listen, all the muffins sold out. I'm sorry about that. But what I can do is I can make more muffins and then sell them to you guys at $4 a piece if that's what you want. And then of course everyone's like, fuck no, your muffins are just as good as fucking Nick's over there. I'm just gonna go buy Nick's muffins. What the fuck? You're like 70 cents higher than he is now, you asshole. So naturally, no one who's actually interested in eating muffins is going to buy muffins that are more expensive and don't necessarily taste any better. In fact, kind of taste a little bit worse if you really look at the data. So now Andy's in the tough spot, of course, because Andy can continue selling muffins to this mystery muffin muncher who may or may not stick around and become a regular customer of his, or he can lower his prices, make the slimmest of margins on his product, and make like peanuts every year, barely able to feed his own family. Now I know this is oversimplifying the problem a bit because we have things like board partners involved and other people that have their hands in the pot trying to make their profits. We have elevated costs on production for Vega that come with being a massive die, HBM2 attached to it, made by one company that's obviously got exclusive rights to the product and is going to charge a fortune for it. All these factors are mitigating factors that sort of tie AMD's hands together and create this perfect storm of shit. But you know, I don't even really object to AMD going the route of taking the payday, because ultimately they're a company, they're in business, they have shareholders to please, they gotta make money, and the margins on Vega are bound to be pretty slim, because like I said, the cost on production had to be high for that chip. But they really could have saved themselves a headache and a half and avoided this whole fucking public relations nightmare by doing a couple of simple things right from the get-go. For starters, as soon as their engineers realized that Vega was not going to be Pascal competitive in terms of performance per square millimeter, they should have maybe scaled the teasing and the fucking leaking and all the hype back just a little bit and said, hey, maybe this isn't for gamers. Let's see if we can build a card specifically for the mining community, since that seems to be heating up. Now, from what I'm hearing today, it looks like Vega isn't actually all that great for mining, especially when you consider the power consumption and the amount of money you have to sort of shove through the wall to get the product out of the card, so I digress. Or if they had simply set the MSRP higher to begin with arbitrarily, for no reason, just say, you know what, yeah, we know it competes with the 1070 on this level and the 1080 on that level, but we're going to put it a few bucks higher because there's a lot of people out there with FreeSync monitors maybe that will want an AMD card over an NVIDIA card, and I think we're going to capitalize capitalize on that particular niche segment of the market and make our money. Or better yet, how about no MSRPs at all? How about you, as someone who makes GPUs and not graphics cards, as a company who's not actually selling a product to the end user, but selling a product to an intermediary company that sells to an end user, how about you don't mention MSRPs? How about you just say, okay, here Asus, Gigabyte, XFX, whoever the fuck else, here's what we're charging you for our GPUs. You can buy as many as you want, granted we have the stock, and then you can decide what to set your prices at. Put the onus on them. Make Asus and Gigabyte and MSI and all those guys look like the bad guys. Just don't make yourself look like an asshole. Bottom line is, there are tons of ways they could have done this better, even given the circumstances the way they are. Even if you take all the other engineering shit out of the equation and you just stick them with Vega and you say, here's the product we made, what can we do with this? All kinds of choices that could have made this whole problem go away before it even began. Bottom line is, guys, I gotta give you credit. You've got very little money. You've got the smallest R&D budget between NVIDIA, yourselves, and Intel, and you're fighting that war on two fronts. So I'm not going to be too hard on you. But for the love of God, don't shoot yourself in the foot with a PR nightmare. It would be better to be honest about a dud product and just come out with it and cut your losses than to alienate half your consumers. It just isn't worth it. And just to be clear, this is a dud product. And we're talking about a chip that's like twice the size of GP104 and barely competes with it. And another quick thing to point out, although you might make your payday on this whole Ethereum mining craze and make 1.2, 1.3 times the money you would have otherwise made if you had competed solely in the gaming segment, here's something you have to consider. The less market share you have in the gaming community, the more you fade out of gamers' consciousness when it comes to building a new system. That's less press you're gonna get, influencers will start to ignore you, nobody's gonna want to review your shit, and ultimately Radeon Technologies Group is going to fall apart outside of your work in GPU and mining and other sort of areas and practices, but the gaming community is going to abandon you. Anyway guys, I'm going to cottage this weekend. I'm gonna be on an island all by myself, so that's why you got a rant video this week that was a little bit shorter than usual. You might get the same next weekend depending on how busy I am, but once again, thank you for watching. Follow me on all the social medias that are linked below, I think, I don't know, and I'll see you in the next video.